When it comes to the internet and technology, are we in control or does it control us? And that is what I'm going to be talking about today. Welcome everyone to another episode as I talk about technology, the internet, and young people. And my name is Roland. And yes, we are still talking about well-being. The internet and the devices that our kids use have an impact on them. But we need to know, is it positive or is it destructive? And we need to know exactly the impact that it's having so we can speak into it and that we can help them. And one of the ways that can help them, especially in this, is that they need to know that they have control, that the devices, that the internet does not have to be their master, that they don't have to be at the whim of devices or at the whim of the internet, but they have control. They can go in and, for example, one thing that I'm going to be speaking on specifically that they can have control in is notifications. And this is so important because, man, our kids get so many notifications from social sites, if it's TikTok, if it's Instagram, whatever it is, Snapchat. Then never mind that, then there's apps that they have and that they're on, right? Notifications, and they constantly being bombarded for them. And remember, we are talking about balance. They need to be a balance, and they need to be taught and how to they need to be taught that they can control the amount of notifications that they get, because not all of them are bad, right? First of all, we cannot say that they're all bad. No, there are really important ones and that they are not so important ones, and we need to teach them the difference. And I would ask you, do you know what their favorite social sites are, or what the game sites are, or what apps they are on a lot? Because that's where we can go into them together and have these talks with them and teach them how to change settings on their phone to reduce the amount of notifications that they get. But again, this is about conversation. This is about talking to them and teaching them that they have this control, and not just, again, taking away their phones, because that is not control. That is not the best way to teach them about this. It's actually having these talks with them. We've been very aware what they love doing online. And so that we also know that where they're not supposed to be on, and teach them that no, these sites you're not supposed to be on, But again, let's come back to notifications, about teaching them how to set settings to reduce them, and especially have to set aside times where we have no notification times, right? It's like, for example, at dinner times when we are all together, or else at homework times, that they should have no notifications, except it's really important from either from you as a parent, or from a teacher, or someone. You will determine what the important is, or they also, with your help, will determine what important is, and that is the only a notification that they can get, right? And even at bedtime, no notifications at bedtime. Again, if they're at a sleepover, that means only from you or from parents or someone important. Again, have this conversation where what is important and what is not important. But notifications at bedtime, generally after that, there should be nothing. It is crazy for them to be getting notifications at 1 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning, at 3 o'clock. So here you are sleeping and your kids are on their phones. And that is another thing. Actually, they shouldn't have their phones when they're going to bed. Teach them again where they should put their phones. Either their phones should be off and away, out of their reach. And these are some of the things that can help them with their well-being, because sleep is so important, and we need to teach them this. Are we teaching them this? And we also need to teach them again about companies. Companies need notifications. They have created them for a reason, because they need engagement, right? So this is why they created it. The more engagement, the more traffic means more revenue. So yes, they are very sneaky ways that they get people to come back, and their goal is for people to come back, for young people to come back, because that increases visibility, that increases traffic, that increases engagement, that increases popularity, which again is all about money, because the more revenue they get, and that is where we see badges, right, and points system and leaderboards. And again, this is where we come and talk to our kids about these things. Does it mean a lot? Will it change your life if you are number one on the leaderboard of Candy Crush? I mean, we need to really, I know it's so silly to talk about, but we need to have these talks with them. Is it really important to be number one, or to get a constant reminder about a badge, about something that isn't going to impact their life even at their age, not even when they grow older, at their age? We need to be teaching them these things. And again, teach them what is important, what is not so important. Because remember, not all notifications are bad, and we need to teach them this, and teach them even about the dark side about companies and how they create these notifications so that they can come back. They are not thinking about your children's well-being. They are just thinking about revenue, money, traffic, popularity, and they're creating more and more ways for your children to come back. And for us to come back. I'm talking about children, but it's also for us. Are we slaves to our devices? Are we slaves to technology? Are we slaves to our social sites, right? Are we addicted to them? Because our kids will see what we do, and they will act out what we do. And in abundance, I'm trying to think of a quote. I can't remember it right now. But our kids will take it further than we even do. So we need to even check ourselves. How are we online? Do we have 300 notifications? And again, are they important or not so important? Because again, our kids are watching us. They will do what we do, and they will take it to extreme. And these are the kind of convos we need to have. And I know I'm talking about parents, but that implies to every one of us. No one is excluded from this unless you have cut yourself off from technology completely. Then you are safe. But we all have to deal with these things. We live in a new world. There are new challenges. There are new things that we have to face and grapple with as individuals and as family. And we have to navigate this new world together. So with that, I have come to the end of this episode. Thank you so much again for spending this little time with me. I so appreciate it, and I will be back next week to talk more about this amazing world that we live in right now. I am so excited about this. So with that, thank you, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.